Dubai was once the ultimate millennial dream, a city where ambition felt rewarded, no income tax, endless sunshine, a skyline that looked like the future had already arrived. For young professionals from London, Manila, Mumbai, and beyond, Dubai wasn't just a move, it was a level up. A place where you could work hard, earn more, and finally live the life social media promised. But somewhere between the rooftop brunches and the luxury car reels, something shifted, quietly, gradually. The dream began to stretch further out of reach. Rent prices started climbing, then climbing again. What once felt affordable suddenly required compromises, smaller apartments, longer commutes, tighter budgets. And for many millennials, the question changed from, how far can I go here, to, can I even stay? Between 2020 and 2026, rental prices surged dramatically. A one-bedroom apartment that once felt manageable at $1,200 a month doubled in some areas. Meanwhile, salaries barely moved. The math stopped making sense. The same city that once offered financial breathing room began to feel suffocating. And for a generation already shaped by global recessions and rising costs worldwide, this felt painfully familiar. But this wasn't just about numbers on a lease agreement. It was emotional. Dubai had become part of their identity. The skyline, the hustle, the energy, it symbolized growth, success, momentum. So when staying meant sacrificing stability, it felt like more than a financial setback. It felt like falling behind in a race they thought they were winning. Many millennials began moving further away from the glittering center, sharing flats with strangers, living in neighboring Emirates, commuting hours each day just to keep the dream alive. The lifestyle looked the same on Instagram, but behind the scenes, the pressure was mounting, burnout increased, savings shrank, and the illusion of effortless luxury quietly cracked. Some chose to leave entirely. They packed their apartments, sold their furniture, and returned home, or moved somewhere cheaper, not because they failed, but because the equation changed. The city evolved faster than their paychecks did. And staying no longer meant building wealth. It meant surviving month to month. But here's where the story shifts. Not everyone walked away. Some millennials decided that if Dubai was changing the rules, they would too. Instead of chasing the high-rise lifestyle, they redefined what success looked like. They embraced co-living spaces, split rent strategically, built tighter communities, shared resources instead of competing silently. Others leveraged the very thing that makes this generation different: digital freedom, remote work, freelancing, online businesses. Instead of relying solely on local salaries, they tapped into global income streams, working for companies in Europe or North America while still benefiting from Dubai's infrastructure and opportunity. Side hustles became serious ventures: content creation, e-commerce brands, consulting services, startups built from shared apartments and coffee shops. The rising cost of living didn't just push them out, it pushed them to innovate, to think beyond traditional employment, to design lives that weren't tied to a single paycheck. And slowly, the narrative changed. Dubai stopped being just a playground for the ultra-wealthy and became a testing ground for reinvention. Millennials who once chased luxury began chasing flexibility, stability, ownership. They weren't trying to look rich anymore. They were trying to build something sustainable. What's happening now isn't an exodus. It's a transformation. The city is still growing. The towers are still rising. But beneath the glass and steel, a quieter evolution is taking place. A generation learning to adapt faster than the market moves. A generation refusing to give up on opportunity, even when it gets expensive. Because the truth is, Dubai was never just about luxury, it was about possibility. And possibility doesn't disappear when rent goes up. It shifts. It forces creativity. It demands resilience. And millennials, shaped by uncertainty since their teenage years, are uniquely built for that kind of pressure. Some are building startups in smaller apartments. Some are relocating just outside the city and commuting strategically. Some are collaborating in co-living communities designed for entrepreneurs and creatives. The lifestyle looks different now. Less flashy, more intentional. Less about status, more about sustainability. Dubai will continue attracting wealth. It will continue evolving. But the millennials who remain aren't just spectators anymore. They're architects of a new version of the dream. One that isn't defined by penthouses or supercars, but by autonomy, adaptability, and long-term growth. And maybe that's the real story. Not that millennials are being priced out, but that they're rewriting the blueprint. Because sometimes the cost of chasing a dream reveals what truly matters, and when the skyline feels out of reach, you don't always leave. Sometimes you build your own view.